Adapting a book into a visual format is never an easy undertaking. Many movies have failed to bring the words to life. But when a film does get it right, it can truly bring the story to another level, illuminating elements that were not as prevalent in the source material and revealing the entire depth of the plot to the viewers. There are even some cases in which the movies surpass the books and become the go-to source of entertainment for anyone interested in the story. It's even more impressive when this happens with a book that was already considered a masterpiece. First up, we have the fantastic Mr. Fox. Created by the same author who wrote the likes of Matilda, James and the Giant Peach, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl, the fantastic Mr. Fox is a beloved children's story with fantastic storytelling. Pun intended. But what makes this adaptation take a spot on our list is the eccentricity that Wes Anderson managed to inspire in the visuals for the film. The director, who's infamous for his vivid, artistic style, took Dahl's original premise and over-exaggerated every character and scene in the best way possible, giving the story a quirky and funny vibe while still keeping it heartwarming. Additionally, the stop-motion animation is designed in a way that just fits the fantastic Mr. Fox story. At the same time, the vocal performances are catchy and memorable to the point that you could simply listen to the movie and still enjoy it.
Kylie, is he telling the truth?
I don't want to be put in the middle of this.
Up next, how about a true modern classic? Staying true to the source material of a book is essential for any film adaptation. And in that regard, American Psycho absolutely nails its delivery. But Mary Harron didn't simply adapt the story. She took Bret Easton Ellis' book and heavily focused on its themes of just how much the rich people in charge can get away with and how different their life structures are compared to your regular Joe. Backed by a stellar performance by Christian Bale, who presented his character in a forthright manner, the movie tells the original story in a much more concise way that doesn't confuse audience members. Bale's persona was a perfect blend of a stereotypical narcissist, a true psychopath, and a charming businessman that you'd think he was Patrick Bateman. The movie managing to tell the story in a more understandable way is the reason why it outshines the book.
Something wrong?
Sometimes a short novella can inspire an iconic film. The Shawshank Redemption might be the best adaptation of a Stephen King story ever done, and the film is based on a short novella. While director Frank Darabont stayed mostly true to the source material, he used the movie as a way to expand upon the characters and setting, going much more in depth into the events and personalities surrounding the Shawshank Redemption. An example of a character that gets expanded upon is Brooks. In the books, he's a minor character who's paroled and lives a lonely life before dying of old age. In the film, we see a disheartening montage after he's released, where he realizes the world he knew before being institutionalized no longer exists, and he takes his own life. The film turns an amazing piece of writing into a truly awe-inspiring piece of art. Sometimes, seeing something impacts you much more than just reading it.
I wouldn't say friends. I'm a convicted murderer who provides sound financial.
Hold on to your morals with this one. Irvine Welsh's 1993 novel that showcased the life of a group of heroin junkies during the 80s was a pop culture phenomenon any way you look at it. The book took viewers on a trip with a few short stories that were brutal, wretched, and graphic, but also had a hilarious undertone, as long as you didn't take things too seriously. Danny Boyle took the story, and in 1996, he released the critically acclaimed film Trainspotting, which gave life to the crude characters and made the entire plotline a bit easier to swallow for the people who found the book a tough read. The movie illustrates some of the most heartbreaking scenes from the books in a very creative and psychedelic manner via the clever usage of effects and camera angles. When you add the catchy Britpop soundtrack, the film becomes way more engaging and easier to take in compared to the books.
He's a mate, you know, so what can you do? Can I borrow this?
What else is number one if not The Lord of the Rings? J.R.R. Tolkien's books are undisputed masterpieces. They're the stories that inspire tens of fantasy worlds to exist. You could even argue that Tolkien basically defined the high fantasy genre with his vast world full of elves, hobbits, orcs, magicians, monsters, and more. The entire setting around The Lord of the Rings is truly epic and is nothing short of a cultural sensation. With all that said, Peter Jackson's film adaptations did something that the books could not. They made the fantasy genre go mainstream. People were no longer considered nerds for liking these types of stories. By cutting the quote extra bits off the books, innovating new practical and CGI effects, and creating glorious action scenes, he brought the art of filmmaking to an entirely new level and introduced the mainstream audience to an entirely new world of movies and books.
Festering, stinking marshland as far as the eye can see.
Thanks for watching, guys. What's your favorite movie that adapted a book? Do you think it outshined its literary counterparts? We'd love to discuss it with you in the comments. If you're a fan of videos that discuss the latest movies, TV shows, video games, and other forms of pop culture, you could give the video a like and subscribe to our channel. We'd be very thankful for that. With all that said, we'll see you next time. Same channel, different time.